Number one, Ibble Dibble here. Hello, friends. I'm back with part 2 of my review of Megan's Good Wife, Bad Wife, Good Mom, Bad Mom podcast. First, I'd like to thank everyone who elucidated exactly how thoroughly unofficial and commensurately grasping Sophie Grégoire Trudeau's performance, if you will, as the wife of the Canadian Prime Minister has been. As an American, I sort of casually refer to any wife of a head of state as a first lady, because though I fundamentally disagree with gender based unpaid roles having any function in modern government, they do tend to persist in this manner. And if the woman is an untitled wife of an elected official, what else is there to call her? I do know that Justin Trudeau is not the head of state. I do understand that, in fact, King Charles is the head of state of Canada, followed by the Governor General. So if there were a Canadian equivalent to the First Lady role, it would be the wife of the Governor General, except the current Governor General is a woman, and the husband of Canada's Governor General is a miserable failure of a first gentleman. He is not traveling the world, stunting in fashion, and giving impromptu a cappella concerts, okay?
But nothing will take away what's between you and me. When you smile back at me, when you smile back at me, when you smile, when you smile, when you smile.
Does he have a cool nickname like DJ Witty Witty Grant Fraser? Does he go on podcasts to talk about the trials and tribulations he's faced as the partner of such a prominent, dominant woman? I don't think so. I don't think His Excellency understands his place at all, writing memoirs about his work in Arctic communities and respectable historical fiction based in the somewhat distant past, rather than rehashing, reframing, and regurgitating his own verbal vomit for the past 3 years. I think we all know who the real First Lady of Canada is.
I love you, my child.
I looked into it further and was honestly very amused by some old news articles about Canadian women in power and adjacent to power who have attempted to brand themselves as first ladies, and the backlash that ensued. From Mila Mulroney, who really tried it, to Kim Campbell, who seemed to use the term very sarcastically to refer to her short 4 months in office. Honestly, this was super entertaining. These are the kind of fun conversations I love having on my videos, and it made me love Canadians more for hard passing these women over and over throughout history. And saying no to fraudulent femme fatale is actually very apropos to the next part of the podcast, where Megan reads a sort of long, absolutely inane poem. It's so bad.
There comes a time in the life of a woman when her desire to fit in with the crowd dissolves, when her manic compulsion to be perfect vaporizes, and when her obsession to be voted popular eviscerates. There comes a time in the life of a woman when she simply says, no more. When facade, artifice, and guile leave her nauseated, and when righteousness, dogma, and superiority repulse her. There comes a time in the life of a woman when she no longer fears conflict but faces it boldly like a lioness, when she guards her authenticity as fearlessly as she guards her babies, and when she drops the role of savior, knowing she can only save herself.
In 3 years, Megan has gone from hoping we'll accept her bullshit to expecting it to demanding it, hasn't she? The reason this poem is so terrible is because it wasn't written by a poet. It was written by a clinical psychologist named Dr. Sheffley Zabari.
Don't destroy your essence for this illusion of perfectionism or this image of the good wife or the good mother, because those are just images, they're illusions. The best mother and the best woman you can be is the authentic one, the one who is deeply connected to her own knowing. And that doesn't take effort. That takes stillness. It takes quiet. It takes relaxation and reflection.
So now Megan is inviting clinical psychologists to the pod to convince us that it's completely okay that she simply does not do what she says she will do or even try because we're expecting her to be perfect. And she's just struggling to be a mom. Don't you know how difficult it is to live with full-time cleaning staff, security, nannies, and personal assistants on rotation, and a part-time chef and on-call driver? Ugh, she doesn't even have a boss at a big company to tell her what she can do with her time and her priceless intellect. She doesn't even have a Hollywood super agent flying her hither and thither to perform demanding star power roles that could distract her, albeit only for a short while, although only in the artistic sphere, from her constant pursuit of perfection. She's got to figure it all out herself. How can she focus her impact on the neediest among us, like a child burning insects through a magnifying glass on a summer's day? Where's Megan's time for stillness? Where's Megan's time for reflection? Extremely concerned for her mental health and the safety of her children, I decided to look into Dr. Sheffley to make sure Megan was seeking help from the best. And it seems like Dr. Sheffley is just one of those TV doctors who charges distasteful prices for online pre-taped video courses. A middle-of-the-road product for her is the Awakened Woman course to, quote, become an empowered and liberated woman. It costs $675 for 15 hours of pre-taped video, many of which are already available for free on YouTube, plus a $25 per month subscription to a private Facebook group populated with other students, where Dr. Sheffley's staff posts recipes, workouts, art assignments, and guided meditations. Zero interaction from the doctor herself. Her conscious parenting course, her most popular product, is supposedly a, quote, step-by-step method to raise an empowered and joyful kid, end quote, and offers products ranging from a 45-minute video on how to fight with your kids productively for $50 to a conscious growth and meditations bundle for $3,250. Included is her Awakened Heart course to change your life, Awakened Heart meditation to learn how to be still and enter, all caps, you, a year of manifestation to learn how to manifest your deepest purpose, and a year of manifestation meditation to manifest your ultimate self. All of these courses are no refunds honored after 7 days, the minimum allowed by New York state law. But what if you are a literal duchess like Megan, and you actually want to book a session with Dr. Sheffley personally? Well, you can do so on her website. A 15-minute slot is $725, and there's a huge disclaimer on her calendar saying, quote, Dr. Sheffley doesn't accept insurance and does not do diagnostics or provide procedural codes for insurance billing. All private sessions with Dr. Sheffley are considered coaching, not therapy. By scheduling this session, you are acknowledging the understanding that you are booking Dr. Sheffley for a life coaching session and not therapy, end quote. I checked her license on the New York State Office of the Professions site because this is screaming quackery to me, and she is a licensed psychologist in New York through May 2024. So my question is, why is she trying to, and more importantly, how has she gotten away with circumventing legal liability in this manner? If she's a life coach, she shouldn't be able to market herself as a doctor. If she's marketing herself as a doctor, she shouldn't be able to have clients sign a waiver that they are in fact only receiving life coaching at the price of $2,900 per hour. To give you some perspective, the top of the pops, the best of the best, the fanciest offices on Park Avenue and Central Park West, the head of hospital departments, those psychiatrists, not psychologists, psychiatrists, charge between $800 and $1,200 per hour. Dr. Sheffley is charging between 2 and 4 times what the best of the best in her market charge. And she's not providing therapy. She's providing life coaching. Even more disturbing, She sells a $9,550 certification course to become a, quote, conscious parenting method certified coach, end quote, in 5 months. According to her website, quote, you do not, caps, have to be a parent to apply, nor, caps, do you need to have a previous degree in counseling. We welcome passionate and caring individuals who believe in conscious parenting to consider our program, end quote. In fact, there are 0 academic prereqs or personality tests to get certified by Dr. Sheffley. The only thing you need to have completed is Dr. Sheffley's $990 The Conscious Parenting 2.0 Method Level 1 and 2 course, which again is just 21 hours of pre-taped videos that you pay $1,000 for. So if you pay Dr. Sheffley around $10,000 and fast forward through a bunch of videos, she'll give you a certificate to pretend you are a mental health counselor just like her and market yourself to people who have seen her on TV. Like Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz before her, she is an Oprah-endorsed quack. Now, I do not have a doctorate in clinical psychology from Columbia like Dr. Sheffley, but when I watch her, my bullshit detector is screaming. Take a look.
So a mother once came to me with her infant. The infant was around 13 months old. And she was an anxious mother, as most mothers are. And she wanted to fix this child and produce this perfect baby so she could post about the baby on social media. However, the baby had its own agenda, how dare it? And the baby refused to bend to her will. In fact, according to her, the baby was non-reactive, was not connecting, was not making eye contact. So she had all these pamphlets, you know. Is my daughter ASD, autism spectrum disorder? Is she RAD, reactive attachment disorder? You know, we're really good at diagnosing other people. So I knew in my gut and with all the work I've done that it cannot be that a child that young has got so many psychiatric issues. So what is the issue? What is the real core problem here? So as I began to observe the mother, and the mother at one point began to feed the baby, I began to observe the interaction. And by golly, the mother was right. Every time the mother would put a spoon in this wretched child's mouth, this child had the audacity to look away. And then the mother would do helicopter swirls and swings and gymnastics and acrobatics because the mother was being so humiliated in front of me. And she was like, can you please bloody eat this spoon of whatever honey I'm giving you? But no, the child refused. The mother happened to leave the room to get something, my office, and I was for a moment left with this thing. And I was like, don't leave me with this thing. However, the baby's affect, temperament, attitude, all shifted when I was alone with this thing. She lit up. She looked at me. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, who are you? And don't do this, like, you're so fake. Like, what's the real you? So I was like, no, your mother's coming back. Go back to the old, like, who you just were. So when the mother came back, again, the baby shifted in affect. When I began to explore the mother's history, you know, we don't have to go too far back to discover what the issue in the present moment is. She began to tell me about her alcoholic father and how he had abandoned them and how for years and decades she feared being left alone. So her defense was to crust herself in a shell of protection, as is often our defense. So now as a mother, she was unable to connect. I knew then that my mission wasn't to diagnose this thing. It had nothing to do with this thing, and all to do with the pain that this mother was carrying. Unbeknownst even to her, she genuinely thought there was something wrong with the other. After working with her, and slowly melting away her defenses, the mother's authentic self began to light up, and their relationship vastly improved. Pan to another house.
Same as we figured out that a lot of Megan's feminist verbiage was just her California Luxe boho edit of Omarosa, it sounds like she picked up a lot of her keywords and philosophy from Dr. Sheffley here. The authentic self, the tying back of even the smallest disappointment, like a baby being a fussy eater, to the unresolved deep victimhood of the mother, the idea that labeling a problem is tantamount to resolving it, and most jarringly, that weird combination of trying to paint a picture for us through stage directions like pan left, and then telling us what exact conclusions to draw from a scene that in fact illustrates nothing. And most egregiously of all, Megan has stolen the misused and terribly abused word archetypes from Dr. Sheffley, who also misuses it. Did you catch that on the page advertising the certification course? I'll read it to you. This method will help you and your future clients get from point A to point B to reach their desired goals. 1. The breaking down phase, identification of the problem, awareness of the pain points, family patterns and history, epiphany of the self as co-creator. 2. Breaking through, deeper deconstruction, connecting the dots, learning techniques to stop repeating the patterns. Create new personality archetypes. I repeat, create new personality archetypes. One more time. Create new personality archetypes. Is this what Meghan and Harry are trying to do at home? Become completely different people? Create new personality archetypes. I should have known when the doctor misused eviscerate in the poem. 3. Breaking free, liberation from past and beginning anew. Integrate a new self and relationships, master new choices and how to disrupt patterns in the moment, master your own psyche. And once again, this is something any layman is supposed to be able to do with zero actual medical professional psychiatric help. Just pay $10,000 for Dr. Sheffley's course, and you'll make it back, selling it to people on the internet, even more naive than you are. I believe Dr. Sheffley has used whatever clinical psychology she learned at Columbia to trick people out of their money instead of treating their mental health challenges. If you are watching this and you are a mental health professional, please let us know your opinion on Dr. Sheffley's manner and business model. I would sincerely appreciate it. Finally, I'd like to say that I'm growing concerned with the direction Meghan and Harry are taking their mental health advocacy. Up until now, I just thought she was using her false victim narrative and claims to various struggles to abdicate responsibility. But now I'm wondering if she isn't going to get into the rather unprincipled business of selling wellness. That's it for today's episode, but it ain't over yet. See you tomorrow. Like, share, and subscribe.